Buddy, happy Saturday. So good to be here with you, and so cool to see so many people choosing themselves for this morning and doing something good for you, right? Because so many times, especially with the people I work with a lot of my clients, that's hard. That's hard to do. And so I commend you and honor you for that. And I am a little bit silly. So I hope you guys are ready to have fun while learning some really cool things. Raise your hand if you're okay with silly. All right, so far so good. Awesome. And so to start out, before I get into all the the good juicy stuff, I like to ask questions from the audience. And some of those questions are, well, usually they're random, but they just get our minds thinking in more of a creative way and kind of get us out of our head and into our heart. So it's up to you. I'm going to allow you to, if you want to raise your hand and say what yours is when I ask a question, or you can type it in the chat. It's up to you. So if we were in real life, I wouldn't let you put it in the chat because we don't have chat in real life. But I know some people are very comfortable, much more comfortable in chat. So I honor that too. So my first question is, what was the very first concert that you saw growing up? Musical concert. So if anyone wants to raise their hand, what's your name?
Janice.
Hi, Janice.
Styx.
Awesome. Awesome. Who's next? Jackie?
Johnny Mathis.
Ooh, awesome. Oh, Callie too. Who's next? Rose?
Yep, the Beatles.
The Beatles. Oh my gosh, I wish I was you.
That's an awesome one.
Oh my goodness, Brian.
1964.
Incredible.
Jethro Tull, Ian Anderson, Jethro Tull.
Very cool.
In the chat, there's Kiss, Anne Murray, and Jackson Browne, I think.
And Run DMC and the Beastie Boys. Where's Anita? I love it. Mine was really lame compared to all these. Mine was Rick Springfield, Don't Talk to Strangers. That was fun. And that was the first time I smelled that wacky smell. And I remember I was with my mom and my cousins and her best friends. And I'm like, Mom, I was really loud and obnoxious, of course. And I was like, what is that smell? It smells like Uncle Jerry's house. So that was quite funny. But Ellen, you were in love with him. Yeah, me too. He was on my wall along with Michael Jackson, and Sean Cassidy, I think. So I have another question. My next question is, what do you like to do when you don't have anything to do? What do you like to do when you don't have anything to do? Jackie?
Read.
Read or sew, walk, yoga, read or take a nap. I'll tell mine if no one else wants to. My son has a VR thing. I don't know, has anyone seen one of those? Oh my gosh, I'm a big Star Wars nerd, and you can actually fight Darth Vader with a lightsaber, and you can use the Force. It's amazing. So any Star Wars nerds that want to come over and do that with me, I love it. Okay, so then we have more crossword puzzles. Relax on the couch with dog, cat, and husband and watch good series on TV. Did someone want to share? All right, I think we have some background feedback. So just getting us thinking about something other than our life, right? I mean, our life and the fun version. So what I'd like to invite you to do today is just to have an open mind, and you probably do if you're already here. One of my biggest things is don't judge yourself, and there's no wrong way to do any of this work. There is no wrong way to do it, period. End of subject. Just by doing it, we all are ahead of the game. So before, another thing I want you to think about before we get started and just kind of go through the Rolodex in your mind of something that made you feel anxious or some problem or some situation that stressed you out. If you could just start thinking about it, because when we do EFT tapping, I'd like to take somebody through it for an example. I'll probably do one on myself, and I'll do one and as many as I can for you guys that time allows, that if you want to do it. But I will teach you how to do it, and you're going to get the instructions after this course. You're going to get the instructions on how to do it. Everything I'm teaching today is something that you can use in your life tomorrow. Okay, because I don't know about you, but raise your hand if you've had a little bit of a stressful year. You know, I mean, anxiety is real easy to go into when we have uncertainty, correct? It's just, you know, we have our routines and we like our routines, and this has been, you know, very different. So, so I invite you to just think about it, but don't think too hard. Don't let it take up space, because we have other fun stuff to do first. Okay, so I'm going to start sharing my screen. And share. Can everybody see it? Okay. So anxiety busters, and I just told you what that was, so we can skip this. I'm not big on the slides, so I'll put them up and I'll be taking them down, okay? Because I like to see your faces. I like to see if you're in a good place. So my experience, Cindy covered it pretty well, but I started about 2 years ago I took a life coaching course. It's called Artists of the Spirit. And if anyone has read Don Miguel's book, The Four Agreements, it's based on Toltec wisdom, and my teachers are in that school. So Heather Ashamara and Diana Adkins were my teachers. So I learned some really cool techniques with some of the stuff that we're going to do today. And I was also a director of sales for several years. And so I have a lot of mentoring and coaching. And to be honest with you, I had a funny conversation with my 15-year-old. I think you guys are going to laugh, because my 15-year-old was mad at me, but she wanted to sit on my bed and show me that she was mad at me. And I wasn't getting, you know, I wasn't letting her poke me. And she's like, I said, is there something that, you know, is there a better way that we can communicate? Or is there another way that I can support you? And she goes, Mom, enough of your life coachy talk. I don't like it. And I informed her that I've been doing this life coachy talk since I was about 13 years old. I have been helping my friends. It's just been in me, right? It's just been in me to be the one that always was there as a support. And for some reason, I was really good at figuring out how to help other people through their problems, but it took me many, many years to figure out how to fix my problems. So, you know, it has been through, I also did improv training, which is where the silly comes in, and that's really fun. And I've been in 12-step recovery program for 10 years, and I've learned a lot of my life skills in that program. So I am completely addicted to listening to audiobooks, listening to podcasts, going to workshops. I'm a consumer of anything that will teach me something. And it's funny because I was not a good student in high school. So if anyone likes that kind of stuff, I'm the girl for you. We could hang out. We could go, you know, talk real deep or be silly. It doesn't matter. We will have fun together. So so that's where I come from. If you have any questions, I'm going to put my information in the chat, and at the end, I'll talk to you about a little bit about some of the coaching that I provide if anyone's interested. And I do have a Facebook group for women. I'm sorry, Brian, you can't come, but I appreciate you being here, because this isn't, you know, just for women. This is for everybody. And I know you need it because you're just like me. I'm an overthinking, Olympic overthinker. So if anyone else is like that, raise your hand. good at overthinking. I'm a professional. So this stuff has been hugely helpful in my life and in my clients' life. So lives. Oh, those are not in the right order, of course. We're going to skip those because we'll do that later. Okay. We're going to go right into breath work. Okay. And I always like to start with breathing because that's probably the easiest place to calm ourselves down. Right. And I don't know about you, but a funny story about me, when I was getting married and I was panicking because I didn't like the way my hair looked or something. And we were getting into I remember we were getting into the elevator over here at the Holiday Inn, right on Irving Park Road and 53. And my sister-in-law was like, Vikki, breathe. It's going to be okay. And when someone tells me to breathe, it's like they're telling me to calm down. I'm like, I am breathing. I am breathing. I wouldn't be alive. I was so dramatic. And that's why learning how to do breath work the right way is a lot more helpful, because had I done some of these things then, I probably would have had a much better morning. But it's okay. Sometimes we go through things the hard way. And getting there and doing that enough times is what has brought me here, right? To learn these tools, and they really are helpful. Can you read this whole thing? Like, can you see it? Can everyone see it okay? I'm just going to read this. One of the breathing techniques we're going to do is one that Navy SEALs use. And then the other one, I learned it from Deepak Chopra and Andrew Weil. They both inspired the other one. So these are not mine. I don't own these. These are just taken from learning. So stress and anxiety trigger neurosecurity. I can't say that word. That was designed to be used sparingly to deal with life or death threats. So that's like, we have our upstairs brain, which is our executive functioning. And then we have our downstairs brain, which is our fight, flight, freeze brain. And that's our subconscious. And that is 95% of our life. We are operating from our downstairs brain. So doing a lot of the stuff that we're working on today will help us get into will consciously help us get into our upstairs brain. So not on a daily basis as a response to gnarled traffic, a toxic boss, or work overload, says Lynn Everett, Toronto-based wellness expert, personal trainer, and co-author of The 5-Minute Recharge. Chronic stress has a corrosive effect on the brain that has been linked to degeneration of the hippocampus, the brain's memory center, and impaired functioning of the prefrontal cortex that can manifest in our lives as depression, dementia, and impaired executive function, she tells. So not only when we have too much stress are we in that part of our brain, but it's also hurting our executive brain when we're in that stress. So other health problems caused by acute stress include high blood pressure, fatigue, insomnia, obesity, and heart disease. It has also been linked to weakened immune system and an increased risk of developing diabetes. So I'm pretty sure, raise your hand if you don't want any of those things in your life. Because I sure don't. I've had some of them. But and what's so important about today is that I'm going to teach you a couple things that you can do in real life, in real time, in front of other humans. And then I'm going to teach you some things that you can do by yourself or with somebody, or, you can be coached into it. And I'm going to teach you some preventative measures that you can use. So that's kind of how the class will work today. So I'd like you to get comfortable in your seat wherever you are, and just kind of take a deep breath in. And I'm going to turn this off for a moment while we do the breathing exercise. So just take a deep breath in. You don't have to close your eyes yet if you don't want, but just take a deep breath in through your nose, inhale, and breathe out and make a sigh. So breathe in again. into your stomach if you can. And breathe out slowly and try and get all that air that's in there out, 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 out. Like you're blowing through a straw. All right, I'd like you to drop your shoulders. Maybe move your head around a little bit. And close your eyes. And just get comfortable where you are. Okay, so the first breathing technique I'm going to teach you is box breathing. And it's exactly like it sounds. What we're going to do is we're going to take an inhale for 4, for the count of 4 that I will count for you. We're going to hold it for the count of 4. We're going to exhale for the count of 4. Then we're going to hold it for the count of 4. Then we're going to keep doing the box. Okay, this is the breathing technique that Navy SEALs use. And they say what I read was about 5 minutes to get out of a stressful situation. But I personally have used it and I think it happens a lot quicker than that. So we're going to go ahead and get started. And just so everybody knows, I'm going to give you all these slides. So you will have all these techniques typed out and you don't have to take notes right now unless you want to. So breathe in for 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, hold it, 1, 2, 3, 4, and exhale through your mouth, 1, 2, 3, 4, hold, 1, 2, 3, 4, breathe in, 1, 2, 3, 4, hold, 1, 2, 3, 4, breathe out, 1, 2, 3, 4, hold, we'll do one more, breathe in, 1, 2, 3, 4, hold, 1, 2, 3, 4, breathe out, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you can relax. So this is one, you don't have to close your eyes when you're doing it. This is one that you can use when you're in your car in traffic. You can use this one when you're at your house and your 15-year-old is sitting on your bed calling you, names, or when you are just wanting to calm down a little bit. All right. So do we have any questions on that one? You can unmute yourself if you'd like. I'm pretty easy. Do we have any questions or comments on that first exercise? It's pretty self-explanatory, right? Box breathing, it's in your pocket. You can use it anytime. It is really helpful. Did anyone not like it? Did anyone like it? Okay, good. I told you I'm silly. I like feedback. That's why these Zooms are amazing. I'm so glad we can do them, but I cannot wait to get back in real life because then I can see you guys.
What I liked about it, Vikki, is that you're not really thinking about anything other than 1, 2, and I'm counting on my hand, on my fingers, but I'm focusing on that and not anything else.
Yeah, it really stops your thinking. And that's the idea, right? Because we're not going to be able to eliminate stress and anxiety from our life because there's other people, places, things, and life happening all around us. But what we can control is our reaction, right? So, okay, well, we'll move on to the next one. And the next one is my favorite one. I prefer this one. It's called 4-7-8 breathing. And it's a natural tranquilizer for the nervous system. And this one I have used at the grocery store many times. I have used this when I'm at a family party, if things are getting a little hectic. I have used this on the phone with customer service. I use it I do it twice a day at least. And that is recommended to get to practice doing this breath work, because the more you practice it, the easier it's almost like, really a habit now. So what we're going to do now is make sure your back is straight. You're sitting up. You can keep your eyes open or you can close them. And breathe in through the nose. And we're going to exhale again with a sigh. And we'll breathe in. We're going to inhale for the count of 4. We're going to hold for the count of 7. And we're going to exhale for the count of 8. And this one's a little different. So before you do your breathing, I want you to put the tip of your tongue. I try to do it and talk at the same time. It doesn't work, but you're going to try and put the tip of the tongue on the top of your mouth, right behind your teeth. So in that little fleshy part. So you're going to breathe, you're going to exhale around your tongue. Okay. So let's get started. Breathe in for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to hold for 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we're going to exhale through our mouth for 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Breathe in for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And exhale for 8. And on this exhale, I want you to try and get all the breath out. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Breathe in for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And exhale for 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. So how's everybody feeling after that one? Do you have a preference or do you like them both?
I like them both. I actually feel a little lightheaded from the last one, or I don't know if it's a combination, but I do feel lightheaded.
So, which is why we only did it a few times, because when you're first starting that, they recommend that you don't do more than 4. Okay. You don't do more than 4 at a time. And you'll build up to that, but that's not uncommon, Judy. So thanks for pointing that out. Rose?
Yeah, I found it difficult to breathe out for 8. And I do a lot of breath work, in my life. And so I found that very difficult. Does that get a little bit better as you practice it?
Exactly right. Exactly right. And I was counting a little slowly. So when you're doing it yourself, it doesn't matter how quickly or slowly you do it. It just matters that the 4 matches the time, like 1, 2, 3, 4, in, hold, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, exhale, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They just need to be the same cadence. Make sense?
Yes.
And you will get better. You will get better at it. Are we good? Do you think you could use this? Will this tool help you? Awesome. 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 Yeah, these I use often. I use these very often. And one of the things that I invite you to do, like Rose was saying, there's tons of breath work out there. And if you go to YouTube and you just look up pranayama, that's a good thing to look up. Yogic breathing. You can also find a lot of these exercises that we're doing, and everyone has their own style of doing these, all these techniques. But if you want to dig in more, if you like it, I would check out YouTube. You can find so many really cool how-tos, and it's really cool. Oh, what do we have? I have tried first, but not second. I liked the second better. Okay, thanks, Alan. How do you spell prana yoga? It's pranayama, and I'm probably going to spell it wrong. Prana, pranayama. I think I'll double check that and put it in the chat in a minute. So yeah, that kind of breathing, or even if you put breathing exercises, you'll find some really cool stuff out there and really cool ways, and you'll find what you like. Like the 4-7-8 is my go-to. The box breathing works really well too. So, I mean, it really is, those are just two samples of ways that you can, when you're in that moment where you're like, well, how about this? What do you feel? Where in your body do you feel when you get anxious? Because it's different for everybody. Does anyone want to share where you typically feel anxiety in your body? So for example, I get it in my chest real bad. Rose, go ahead.
I don't know. If I'm really anxious, it feels like it's all over, you know? So that's
Yeah.
why, breath work was something for me that I kind of, plugged into a while back in my life, because it really does work.
It totally does.
Yeah. Yeah.
Donita, am I saying it right? Cool.
Yeah, sorry about that. I feel it probably in my torso, my chest, up to my neck, through my head. So all up here.
Yep. And that makes sense, right? Because what's happening in our body, we're trying to protect ourselves. Anybody else?
In my neck a lot. I'll end up with a stiff neck.
Front or back?
In the back. The back.
Yep. Jackie, did you want to share?
My heart starts to race.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I mean, this is all very normal, and I'm pretty sure we all know what each other feels like, right? Chest, I have gone to the hospital thinking I was having a heart attack. Yeah, that is something I want to talk about. This is not, all these can help, but if you are having a panic attack, there is no shame in going to the emergency room if you're not sure. And they're real. Panic attacks are real. I have suffered from them. I am not a doctor. I am simply sharing the tools that I've learned along the way that have helped me so it doesn't get to that point. But sometimes it does. I mean, I have social anxiety issues sometimes when I'm in big crowds, and panic attacks are real. Panic attacks are something that that happen. And this is this work, I'm sure, could work, but it's not the solution. Definitely consult your physician, consult the people that went to school that learned about all this stuff on a physical level when you have those kinds of really deep panic attacks, because they can be very scary. And sometimes medication is the solution for part of it, but these techniques will also help. They're an excellent supplement to whatever you do. I always say, the more good stuff that I can put in my system, whatever it is, in terms of being healthy, in terms of tools to use that are free, especially, I mean, no one can take away your breath. You can breathe however you want to breathe, where you're there, when you're doing it. No one can, like this whole idea of controlling others and controlling situations. We can control that. That is one thing we can control. We might not be able to control the chaos around us, but we can control our breath if we think about it, which is why practicing is so important, right? So that's why they recommend doing these habits maybe in the morning once or twice, maybe in the evening once or twice. The 4-7-8 breathing really does help if you have sleeping problems. It does help people. It's been known to help people fall asleep. But just something to try whenever you think about it. A lot of times I'll do it when I'm in the car at a red light too. So however you can practice any of this, it's a good thing, like anything else in life. So I'm going to share my screen again. And I want to see if there's anyone that has, that this is the time we're going to do tapping, which is so amazing and so fun. And how many people have done tapping before? Awesome. And I'm doing the method I learned in my course, and it's very simple. It's simple, but there are tons and tons and tons of different ways you can do EFT tapping. So I am going to share my screen for this part. And we're going to go backwards because I put it in. Okay. I'm going to read a little bit about it. So emotional freedom technique, fondly known as tapping, first started with Dr. Roger Callahan and has evolved through the work of many, including Gary Craig, Silva Hartman, Dr. Dawson Church, and many more, many adaptations. This process works interrupting the signals between the brain, energy meridians, organs, and pain by focusing on the meridian points, basically rewiring the body to a different energy wave, affecting thoughts, memories, and responses that are associated, that are associated with the situation. It can really be done on anything, guys, that you have feelings about, emotions, thoughts, behaviors, fears, anxiety, dislike, even physical stuff, that you can ask for help in this technique. It really is pretty powerful. And super simple, super simple. I wouldn't recommend doing this at the grocery store, but you certainly can. So I'm just going to talk you through a little bit of it and what it looks like. So these are the tapping points. And the first one we do is, and you guys can practice this if you want as I talk through it. We'll do a couple practice rounds, but first you do a karate chop on your the meaty parts of the pinky side. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Typically I do. And then you first go to this eyebrow area. So I usually use 2 fingers on my eyebrow. I tap. And then I do 2 fingers on the side of my eye. And then under my eye on that little bone. And then under my nose. And then under our chin. And then I use 4 fingers on my collarbone. And then we do the monkey one under our arms. And you can either do it like, sideways on one side. I always do it like this. It's however you want to do it. And then finally, we do a karate chop on our head, or we do 4 fingers. I usually like to do 4 fingers. Pretty simple, right?
This is one that you don't do at the grocery store.
Well, Brian, I invite you to do it at the grocery store.
Thanks, Vikki.
I have to say I've done it in my car, and then I get to a stoplight. I'm like, oh, darn it. They're going to see me doing this, but
It doesn't matter. It helps, right? I need to figure this out. Okay, good. Now I got it. All right. So I'm just going to read through it again, and kind of talk through it. And you, if you remember, you can practice it, but this is just kind of the oopsie. Okay, so first what we do is we think of a situation or a problem that's bugging us and causing emotions and feelings, because we all love feelings so much, that we don't want. And then we ask ourselves first, that this is an important part, is to ask yourself how you feel right now. So what is the intensity on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being most intense? I want to, jump in a pool, or I don't know why I said that, but and 1 being barely feel it at all. And what we'll do is we'll compose a setup statement. Okay, so this statement acknowledges the problem and then gives a positive affirmation. Okay, so even though I'm mad as hell, I still accept myself completely, as an example. Despite being so pissed off, I still accept myself completely. even though my foot is killing me, I know I will get better. Okay. Then this is what you, when you doing it, you use firm but gentle pressure. So you do your karate chop with your pinky finger of your hand. There's a typo. And remember repeat your setup statement 3 times. That's where we're going to repeat our setup statement. Then we're going to move to the other points, and we're going to be expressing our feelings that we have around this situation. So in this part, we can say whatever we want. We could say the first time through, we could say, I'm mad as hell. You know, as we go through these, I really can't stand this situation. I don't want to be here. You know, we just share what we feel about this thing. I wish my kid wouldn't have been mean. I wish that I didn't have to pay the IRS, you know, whatever it is, right? We say it the first time through, we say it without anything positive, with just how our frustrated feelings are. Okay. And then we do the top and we say how we feel. Then we go through the second time. And in between that, no, back up. Then we go through that the second time, and we do it with understanding, with compassion and positive thoughts. And how that usually manifests for me is I start out saying, okay, I'm really mad about this. And then as I go through the process, I get more understanding and compassionate until at the end of that round, by the time I'm here, I'm saying a very positive thing. I accept myself completely, right? And then we reassess what the intensity is. If we've gone down or if we're still the same, then we repeat that process of the positive points. We keep repeating that positive until we get down to a 2 or a 3 or 1. And that is EFT in a nutshell. That is the simple version that I know. And I would love to run through it with someone, if there is someone brave and is comfortable being vulnerable about a situation in your life. If you would like to go through a round, I can talk you through. If not, I definitely can do one on myself first, if that would be more comfortable. Rose?
I have some sinus issues, and I've been using the EFT, to kind of work on that. And, I'm wondering, and I'll go ahead and do this with you, but I was wondering, like, how long, do you do the EFT, before it really kind of is effective? Do you do it every day for, several days, or, how long do you do it?
Well,
because I've done it, because just to clarify, I've done it, and I've done EFT. I started with Gary Craig. So, I started the EFT, practice a long time ago, but this, and now I do it with the Ortners. So they do the whole tapping, they have like a tapping app you can use, which is really great. But, I just can't seem to get a handle on this, and I'll do it like, once a week, or, every 3 weeks or whatever. Is there a way that is more, kind of stay with it, or?
Well, has it worked on other things better?
Not necessarily, but it sure feels good.
Okay, so kind of, right? So
Yeah.
let me ask you another question. How many times have you been through the cycle of the positive side?
Usually, like, let's just say, if I were to do it, I would, I do the EFT. I would do it maybe 2 or 3 times, but I'll do that cycle of the same thing where it's kind of the negative, then it goes to the positive. But I've never really, it was interesting what you said, that you kind of go through that positive like a couple of times, and I've never done that before.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not so sure about the physical thing because I have never done tapping on a physical thing for myself. And I think sinuses are kind of one of those things that I don't know. Like, I don't have experience with that, so I don't want to speak. Yeah, right. But I do know when I'm having racing thoughts. I do know when I'm having frustration with others. I do know that for me, and I think this again, it goes back to practice, right? What you practice, you become better at it. And it also depends on the issue. Like, how fully charged are you? If you're really charged, you might need to go through it a couple times. And what's interesting is sometimes that issue comes back and you can go back to it, and maybe it doesn't take as many times to get to that 2 or that 3. And I think one of the real powerful parts is, and the biggest part to remember is checking in how you feel, where that anxiety level is.
Yes.
You know, I think that's powerful. So I don't really have a good answer for that, to be honest with you. But I can tell you that on other things, it's worked for me. So, it really is just, I mean, you intuitively probably know the answer to that question, you know?
Yes.
If you
Therapists
keep
say
doing
that all
it
the
and there's
time.
no change, I would try something else on that, you know? Like, I mean, that's my advice. If it doesn't seem to be working, if it's bothering you that you're doing it, don't do it. If you kind of like doing it, keep doing it. I think it's all about like, just putting effort into us is already healing in a little bit.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
So how about, since I've put myself up as the guinea pig, that we try self-worth.
Self-worth. Okay. So let's work on your setup statement.
Okay.
So what would your, do you want me to show you that again, or you've done this before?
I've done this, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's your setup statement?
Probably like, even though I'm hard on myself, I know that I am worthy.
Perfect. All right. So we'll do this 3 times and then we'll go right into the tapping on the eyes. Okay.
Okay.
All right. And I always take a deep breath in and breathe out with a sigh before I do it. I do that pretty much for everything that I do, just to get whatever energy is in there out. So breathe in, exhale. All right, let's get started. Even though, what was it again? I should have wrote it down.
Sorry, I already forgot. So I must be worthy. I said, even though I'm hard on myself,
Yes.
I know that I am worthy.
Okay. So even though I'm hard on myself, I know that I am worthy. Even though I'm hard on myself, I know that I am worthy. Even though I'm hard on myself, I know that I am worthy. And can you help me with the words for each of these? So I would just say, I'm hard on myself, maybe.
I'm hard on myself. I'm always critical of the things that I do. It's so frustrating because I know I'm worthy.
Under the nose, under the chin.
Yeah, I can't think of something. Yes.
You can just go right back to, even though I'm hard on myself.
Even though I'm hard on myself.
I don't want to be 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 hard on myself.
I know that I am worthy.
I know that I am worthy.
All right. So we didn't do something. We didn't check your temperature before.
Oh, yes, that's right. Yeah.
Do you remember?
Yeah. Yeah, I would say that's probably at a 5 because I work
At a
on
5.
So, yes.
All right.
Yes.
So let's go to some positive ones, and I invite you to use your words. I will help you if anyone's struggling with finding words, but I invite you to use your words because it comes much better from your heart than it does from my heart. Okay?
Okay. Yep. So we're gonna go to the
we'll do the setup statement again. We'll do the setup statement again, and then you go right into positive statement. Positive. Okay?
Okay. So even though I'm hard on myself,
myself,
I know that I am worthy. Even though I'm hard on myself, I know that I am worthy. Even though I'm hard on myself,
I know that
I know that I'm worthy.
Okay, on your eyes.
I'm just feeling a little vulnerable, but I'm gonna go for it. Even I am worthy of all that the world brings to me. I love myself for who I am. I am a jack of all trades. So that brings me great joy.
Good job.
I love being with people and sharing my joy with other people. I am worthy of all that the universe brings to me. And I am grateful and loving in this place.
Awesome. And here's what I will tell you. If you can only think of one thing to say, it's okay to say that one thing.
Okay. That's
Yeah,
good to
you
know.
don't have to change it. It's up to, it's whatever, as the spirit moves you,
Yeah.
right?
I love that. So that's a new learning thing from
Mhm.
EFT. So that's great. Thank
Yeah, you can use the same one, like, I am worthy, I am worthy, I am, like, we all
Yes.
need to
Yes.
keep hearing these things. So what would you say you're at number wise now?
Oh, I'm at a 1.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, I'm sure there's questions. Who has questions?
Was I that good?
You were amazing. Who has questions? Anyone have questions? Okay, so how do you feel about it? Like, what are your thoughts on it? Anybody have any thoughts on it? Jackie? You're muted.
Can you tap without any thoughts? Does that
I
help,
never
just
have
tapping?
tried that. I've never tried that, but I bet you could, because it's meridians. You're working on your meridians, so I'm sure it is helpful.
Do your thoughts have to be audible, or can it just be kind of internal thinking?
I prefer audible. I think it's more powerful when we speak it. However, if you're more comfortable, or if you're in a situation where you don't feel comfortable saying things out loud, I invite you could say it to yourself. But I think if you can speak it, I would speak it. Okay, we have a question. If you are doing this because you are angry at someone or have a resentment, what do you do for the positive things about this person or yourself? Okay, I can give you an example of that if you want, because I have people that I'm resentful of every once in a blue moon. Is that fair? You guys want to hear how I would do that? Because yeah, that's a good question. And it's up, all this is up for interpretation, and like I said, coming from your heart, it's more important, but this is how I would do it. And who can I pick? Oh geez, who do I pick? I'm such an evolved woman in recovery. I have
You want-
multiple
Want me
people
to-
that I am.
Want me to say something to make you mad, and then you can use me?
Yeah, Brian, no, I don't want to do that because it won't be authentic. I want to be authentic. Okay, let's think a situation. Oh, okay. I have one. I am resentful at my sister. Okay, so even though I'm mad at my sister for drinking, I still love and hope that she gets well. I'm gonna retract that, because I think I need to make it about myself. Okay, so I'm gonna bring that one back in. Even though I'm mad at my sister, I can still take care of myself. Even though I'm mad at my sister, I can still take care of myself. Even though I'm mad at my sister, I can still take care of myself. I can't stand when she hurts herself. It really makes me mad to see her choosing this life. I wish I could help her. I have no idea how to help her. It's really hard to watch someone hurt themselves. It makes me want to cry every time I think about it. I wish I could show her a new way. I know that she's going to be okay. Wow, that one, I wasn't really expecting that one to hit me so hard, guys. So thank you, Callie. I always love when these moments come up because we know we need it, right? So you get to see me on the spot, have feelings and go through them. So we'll see if I hope it works. Oh man, I'm uncomfortable. I'm vulnerable now, Rose. Okay, so now I'm going to say it in a positive way. I'll tell you that my feelings are about at an 8-9. They're about an 8-9 right now. In terms of it's not anger, it's more sadness, but you can insert anger. Okay. So I'm at an 8. So now I'm gonna try something positive. And I do like to say my setup statement every time. So even though I'm mad at my sister, I can still take care of myself. Even though I'm mad at my sister, I can still take care of myself. Even though I'm mad at my sister, I can still take care of myself. Taking care of myself is always healthy. Being an example is the best way to help. I can take care of myself. I can trust the universal spirit to help me and my sister. I can continue to grow. The best I can do is take care of me. The most important thing in helping others is making sure that I'm okay. I am loving and I am kind. I feel a whole lot better. I'm at like a 4, to be honest. So I think I'll go through it one more time. Okay. Even though I'm mad at my sister, I can still take care of myself. Even though I'm mad at my sister, I can still take care of myself. Even though I'm mad at my sister, I can still take care of myself. Being in the solution helps me take care of myself. Being patient with myself is very healthy. Being an example of love is the best thing that I can do. Shining my love, shining my light is the best way to grow. Taking care of myself is healthy. Taking care of myself is healthy. Trusting my higher power is the best I can do. I love and appreciate myself. And I'm about 3. Oh, no problem about that, Ellen. That's awesome. I love that. And the earlier we can start doing this work, the better, right? All right. So did that, Callie, how do you feel about that? Did that answer your question? Was that supportive?
Yes, it did. Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, when all else fails, go to ourselves, right?
Right.
When all else fails, go to ourselves. And I think that's sometimes the hard thing to do, at least in this situation, but definitely helpful. So does anyone else have, would anyone else like to try?
I just have a question. So the first one you do, the first round that you do, it's more on the, I don't want to say negative, but it's getting out your feelings. It's expressing like, even though I don't like myself. I mean, I do like myself, but I'm just saying, even though I don't like myself, I love and accept myself. Okay, that is so contradictory, right? But anyway, so that's what you do is I don't like it when I get so mad at people or whatever. So you're getting all that out. And then the second time you're starting to twist it to a positive.
Right.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. So, and this first one, that setup statement should be contradictory, right? Because we want to get from, we want to be for my opinion and the way I teach my clients, the best way to handle it is to be as authentic as possible. If you need to swear, you can swear. If you need to, this is for you to get this out. This is for you to get the toxic feeling out, right? And so whatever that is like for you is like for you. There is no judgment. And this, if you say it wrong, if you miss a spot, you're going to be okay, right? Just the fact that you are doing the work is going to have some healing effect in your life, right? And I encourage you to be, my biggest guidance is you can't do it wrong. You cannot do it wrong unless you only say negative things. Unless you only, but if you need to do 2 rounds of getting your feelings out, it's okay. But try to loop in, and I'm going to share my screen again because there's an important part of this that I want you to remember when you're doing. So, go through the points and bring in understanding, compassion, and positive thoughts, right? So maybe we don't have positive thoughts the first time through. Maybe the first time through that, or the second time through, we only have understanding. I understand that my sister is going to do what she's going to do. Like maybe I'm still pissed, right? Maybe all I can do is be understanding or say the words. And then hopefully as we do it more times, we can get to that point where we are, where we're free from that feeling, from that initial emotion. Does that support you?
Yeah, it does. I totally get that now. And just to also reiterate, so when we're tapping, these are meridians. So when you're tapping, it's switching. It's like changing things. I guess I didn't understand that part.
Yeah, let's go back to the slide. All right, so this process works interrupting the signals between the brain and the energy meridians, organs, and pain by focusing on meridian points, basically rewiring the body to a different energy wave, affecting thoughts, memories, and responses that are associated with the situation.
Yeah.
Does that help?
Yeah. So it's kind of retraining the brain is what it's doing. It's retraining an old habit, an old thought process into a new one. Yeah, I get it. Okay, cool.
Right.
Okay.
Because, one of the things that I have found in my journey is that just saying positive thoughts doesn't always support me because I'm arguing with myself because I don't really believe it. Right. This piece about being authentic, right? This piece about really saying how you feel, which is why I think this is so positive, because we can get that junk out. Right. And I don't know about you, but when I get something out verbally, I kind of hear how maybe irrational or, unnecessary. It kind of takes away the power of that feeling. Right. And so one of the other pieces to that is, though, once we do kind of take away that power, we want to put something positive in. Right. And we want to do it in a way that it is supportive, that it's not just saying words. Right. And that's why you go through it several times, because you might be saying some things the first time through, like with the second time through, the first time you're going in that understanding and compassion, and it might not be very compassionate, and that's okay. That's okay, because these are things we can't control how we feel. But if we try to and we pretend, then it's not going to be aligned, right? I mean, it still will help, but to get the real impact, be true to yourself, and be true to those feelings and this is for you. This is for you, and this is healing you so that you can be present in your life and all the other aspects, right? Make sense?
Yeah, totally. Thank you. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Any other questions?
So I'm confused about, so does it matter when you start? It seems like you're switching to positive when you start at a certain body part. Does that make sense? Or are you just repeating is it just like, is there a certain like point where you start switching the narrative?
It really is up to you. So like that setup statement is like you setting up your positive intention, like how you want to feel about it. Okay. So like, let's use, even though I'm hard on myself, I know that I am worthy. Okay. So when you're setting that up, that one's kind of important because that's the direction you want to go to, right? When you start your second round, you want to start to go to that, get into that mindset, if you will, right? So you say this, and then you say all the feelings. Oh my God, I can't stand this situation. I'm really stressed out. I don't like this. I don't like feeling like this. I'm mad. I'm frustrated. I'm sad. I'm pissed. I mean, the first one on here, sometimes I go to more positive because it's just a habit, but you should still be like, I'm really mad about it, right? You can still be, I'm really mad about it, right? Then you take your temperature, then you take your number. Am I at a 8, 7, 6, 5, whatever? Doesn't matter where you're at. And then you go, even though I'm, you say your setup statement again, and then maybe when you're first starting, it is good to just only say one thing, right? Because that might help you get into the mode, right? You can just say, I know that I am worthy. I am worthy. I know that I am worthy. I am worthy. I know that I am worthy. I am worthy, right? The second time, I want you to start as much as you can in understanding compassion or positive, right? And if you don't know what to say that setup statement, right? So that's always an anchor for you, is that setup statement. But the idea is to start out with, like, I'm really mad at my sister. I know taking care of myself will be better for everyone. Like you can, I typically, in my practice, I typically do start out less positive the first couple ones. And then as I go down, I go to more positive. But it really is, I think as you're starting, you can keep it as simple as possible. Okay. And you'll get these instructions too. So you'll have this in front of you. But I really think that you should try to do as much understanding and compassionate thoughts the first round after you do your feelings. Does that support you? No? Do you mind explaining a little more? So what do you?
It's okay. I'm overthinking it per usual. That's good.
That's okay.
That's
just
good.
Like me.
I just don't get it. It's like you're reiterating the first round, and then at what point are you switching to the positive? And is it connected to a specific body part?
It doesn't have to do with what body part.
Okay.
It just has to do with, on each body part, you're going to try and be understanding, compassionate, or positive. So just add some, how you want to feel, how you would rather feel to that first time around instead of how you do feel. Does that simplify it at all? Keep it simple. You'll have the instructions. You can call me or email me anytime. I am available to, go through this with you because I know it can be confusing and I can overthink things too. So I invite you to reach out to me offline if you'd like.
Can I, I'm Brian here. Can I kind of express kind of how I'm reading it.
Yep.
So you start out with the problem, solution to solution. So we just kind of, it could be just problem, then problem, solution, solution. It's just evolved from the issue to issue solution to only solution. Is that kind of it?
Yep. Yep.
That's kind of how I read it. So.
Very good. Good job. Jackie, did you have something? No? All right. We took a lot of time on that. I'm glad. Did that support you guys?
That I was doing while doing the whole thing, while I was listening, I was practicing the box breathing. So it really kind of kept me connected. So it was kind of cool. So
Good. Good. I just invite you all to really, really, really and truly not judge yourself and not worry that you're doing it wrong. You cannot mess this up. You cannot mess this up. It will only improve. And I can support you, and I can send you videos, and I can do, I have a lot of materials, and there's a lot of materials online, and there's a lot of things that can support you with this and guide this. But certainly any questions, any comments, anything, I am available. And, I'm obviously very passionate about this because it works. So are you guys okay if we go into, the preventative stuff? Rose, do you have a question? No? Okay.
Just an internet problem, sorry.
Oh, that's okay. All right, so let me get to that. And this should all be very, all right. So let me share my screen. Some of my favorite quotes. The next thing that really helps me with anxiety and has helped me with so many different aspects of my life. And it's really interesting because, obviously I've been practicing gratitude for 10 years. And I did this summit. I had 21 experts that were anything from psychiatrists to authors to like all experts around habits. It was a habit summit. Every single one of them, science, motivation, coaching, whatever, whoever the expert was, all said gratitude is the best way to make changes that are positive in your life. Science is backing what we've been doing for a long time. Now they've found this out. So I invite you, if you don't have a gratitude practice already and you're not sure what that even looks like, and if it sounds confusing, all you need to do is I like to, and I encourage my clients to write it down. I think there's power with pen to paper, and write down 3 things that you're grateful for in your life. It's as simple as that. And really starting off the day in that mode kind of shifts things. I also recommend when you're in a situation of anxiety, and maybe after you do your breathing and you get in your car. Okay, so I always picture myself at Mariano's, and I don't know that I've ever been frustrated at Mariano's, but I always picture myself at Mariano's in line doing my 4-7-8 breathing. I get through, they help me get my stuff. I go out to the car. I can't, the little cart ride is a little bit too far from my car, and I'm a little irritated. And then I get back to my car and I just stop. And I always have a pen and paper with me because I like to learn, and I always write things down if I think of them. And I'll just write down 3 gratitudes, and just chill. And whether I feel it immediately or not, it tends to be I call gratitude my immediate elixir to any emotion that ails me. And it really usually does work very quickly. Okay, there's a comment. Hang on. Thank you, Vikki. Oh, okay. Thank you, Lindsay, for being here. So I just want to read a couple of these quotes to you because I think they're important. And if I could, my whole slide presentation would be quotes because I love quotes. Gratitude unlocks the fullness of life. It turns problems into gifts, failures into success, the unexpected into perfect timing, and mistakes into important events. Gratitude makes sense of our past, brings peace for today, and creates a vision for tomorrow. Melody Beattie. And the next quote is, when gratitude becomes an essential foundation in our lives, miracles start to appear everywhere. So there's this book that I highly recommend, and it's called Good Morning, I Love You. It's by this woman, and her name is, why can't I think of her name? Shauna, let me tell you, Shauna Shapiro, Dr. Shauna Shapiro. And she does a lot of work around loving kindness and self-compassion. She did this, I first found her, I don't know if any of you rent books from the library or, have the app where you can listen to books on here. But I don't know if you know of Sounds True. They do a lot of really good work in this area. And I get it from the library on an app called Hoopla. And they have, what's really cool is they have workshops. So if anyone's heard of the book, The Untethered Soul, Michael Singer, they have like 12 4-hour workshop recordings on there that you can listen to, that I will listen to when I'm cleaning, when I'm driving, it's incredible. But so I'm getting back to the Good Morning, I Love You. This Good Morning, I Love You thing. In her book, she says something, and it is, what you practice grows stronger. What you practice grows stronger. And that is so important because we can practice anxiety. We can practice being in that mode, right? And then it'll just keep coming. And just like when we practice gratitude in that quote, you'll start to see miracles coming everywhere. When we practice that, we start to see more of that. So my invitation to everybody in this world, I wish I could shout from the rooftops, is you get to choose what you can practice. You get to choose what you intake. And that doesn't mean life is going to be perfect and easy and not stressful or anxiety free, but you know what it does mean? It means you can get out of it a little quicker, right? Like, there are tools out there. So if anyone is interested in, like, if you have a library card and you want to know how to listen to these things, hit me up for sure, because I really can help you with that, because everyone I know, I tell them, download this. You can listen to Michael Singer give a whole workshop, a weekend workshop. It's so cool. It's so cool. I found some really great strategies, techniques that, like, they have Eckhart Tolle ones. They have all kinds of really, really awesome content that I highly recommend, and it's free. You don't have to pay $1 million to go to the retreat, right? So that's on the gratitude. And then the last thing I want to talk about is something that happened to me in the pandemic. And, I've always been very creative, but never very artistic. I didn't think I was very artistic. Okay. But I did this thing. I went to Door County with my friend, and we did these little paint pouring things. Have you guys heard of paint pouring? Has anyone tried it? It's incredible. I'll show you some. I have some right behind me. So paint pouring is like, so I had this little thing I got from TJ Maxx, and you use acrylic paint, and you get this special material, and you pour the paint out, and like you dump it in a cup, and it creates these really cool designs. It's so awesome. And there's a couple other ones that I have up here. But like, as you can see, it does these really cool designs, right? And for me, what it was this meditative thing, because when you put it on the canvas, you get to like move it around, and it creates its own design, and it's not perfect, and it's not perfect, but it is beautiful, right? And I invite you to open up your mind and think of something that you can get creative with. Because I will tell you that opened up my mind, that opened up my heart, that helped me with the anxiety of what was happening. I mean, sometimes I would be in there doing these things for like 4 hours. I can be a little excessive. I understand that, but it was really calming and really helpful and really served me with my anxiety. So I invite you all to maybe write down a couple of things that you might want to do, whether it's making friendship bracelets. I made friendship bracelets. I mean, something silly even. You can write a prayer on a piece of paper with different colored pencils and be creative that way. So so I invite you to really add creativity practice into your life so that you can grow and expand and open up a little bit. And maybe, and that has been a personal thing. It's not backed by science. I don't have any science behind it, but it's backed by a year of getting rid of anxiety, getting through anxiety is doing something creative. So that's my final message on getting through anxiety, because we're all human, and we all have life. We all have life, but we get to choose what we do every day. And some days are easier than other days. So